Whenever I game, I stream. All right, so let's see. We're trying to figure out the tiles. Yeah, I just wish that they have that you can, while learning this, that you can actually play the game. Because I had to read through this and. Okay, city map. Okay, let's read through. Okay, it's just one page, thankfully. Moving your professor of Freud. Location effects. After you move the professor of Freud to a new space, you may trigger the location effects up to 5 times, depending on the conditions. To determine the number of times you may trigger the location effects, choose only one of the following options. Count figures. Count the number of figures in the location, for example, Professor Freud, other professors. Count tags. Count the number of location tags in your play area matching the location. These may be in form of in-play research card, three thesis, clients. Okay, so that's when we count. So we have 2 now for that particular icon. Okay. The 5 icon below each location effects indicate that you may trigger the effects up to 5 times. Even there are more than 5 triggers. Or if you have more than 5 matching tags, you may not exceed this. When you trigger the effect more than once in a single turn, fully resolve each effect before initiating the next. You may perform one or more effects available at the location in any order up to a number of effects at your disposal. You may perform different effects or different effect more than once. So this only happens after you move. So this doesn't happen anytime you like, I believe, because it's not part of because you can only state ideas, recall ideas, or treat clients. Those are the 3 things that you can actually actively do when it's your turn. So, and then it's saying here with the location effect is only after you move. That's wild. Okay. After you move your professor of Freud to a or Freud to a new space. Okay. Two action spaces on the meeting table allow you to move your professor and other location to advance Freud. After moving a figure to a new location, you may trigger the effects shown there. But I have to move first. What is the ZZZ whatever though? Recall effect. If you have at least one idea on the meeting table, you may spend your turn recalling your ideas. Then you may claim a location or district bonus from the city map. Oh. Okay. Return all your ideas. Then you may claim a district or location bonus on the city map. Choose location with your professor of Freud and perform one of the following. Claim a location bonus or claim a district bonus. So that's when you recall ideas. And you can get these things. Claim a location bonus or claim a district bonus. Which one is a location bonus and which one is a district bonus? Count the number of location tags in your play area matching. You must have a number equal to greater than the number shown on vacant district bonus. If so, play a color insight from your dial onto the number above the chosen slot. Then place the topmost token from the district onto the slot and trigger the slot's effect. Okay. If no district tokens are left, you do not meet the requirements, you may not claim a bonus. Okay, this only happens when you recall though, so. Alright. This game takes too much brain power. Oh, you know what? I should have just because I totally forgot that dang, so I have to pause this, which is fine. I'll pause, okay, and then I'll just continue the stream later. Okay, so I've already treated the clients. We couldn't finish it. And then how did we say that we can generate? I forgot about that already. I think we use, what can we use to generate the heart-shaped boxes? Oh, we can use insights to generate heart-shaped boxes. Do we have that reference somewhere? I don't think we do. No. You need to have that as a reminder somewhere, either on your player board or on somewhere. And I don't think we have that. Not even here. That would definitely something that would be something that's very beneficial or helpful. Oh, it's right here. It's on the room thing here. Okay, cool. That's fine. Okay. So there's nothing else I can do here. Oh, no. Now I get to... now I need to select another client. So let's see which one we want. Mandatory. Draft new clients. For each vacant office room you have, draft a client and set the dreams as follow. Okay. So I can choose. So the if you get a case study client, the benefit you get from that is at the end of the game. So like, but if you want like game altering effects that's gonna help you during the game, you get a routine client. So maybe what I should do now is grab a routine client first, so we can get another effect going. Looks like these two routine clients gonna help with the green district though. But let me see which one I want. Oh, and then there's matching. Well, is there a matching? Oh, there is. Okay, cool. And I get an insight, a minor insight, if I use a matching manifest dream. And I do have a couple of those up here. Okay, things are starting to make sense. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this lady as my next client, a routine client. So I'm going to place her here. And she has that, her grief layer has this double motion cloud thing on top. But the first thing we're going to do is select a latent dream for her. And look at this card. Look at that. So her latent dream being attacked by crows. That's amazing. The artwork is really amazing. And I'm going to select this as the manifest dream. So we'll put that on top. And then she already has a grief layer, and then we have to replace this. So okay. All right. I have to stop the stream because I have to take care of Suki, eat dinner, all of that good stuff. I'll put this recording on pause because I thought I have like another hour to play the game because I already stopped the first recording. But yeah, I'll be back later tonight so we can continue this session. So at least another hour. Things are starting to make sense here. But yeah, this game is pretty complex. But I love the artwork. I like the flow so far. I'm really trying to understand it. I think I'm getting it. I think I'm getting it. So, all right. So that's the end of our turn, though. So we got the new client. So now next when I come back, we're gonna. It's turn. So thanks for being here, Leon. Have fun with your robot assembly. I'll talk to you later. Okay. I think I forgot to do something before I paused the recording, and that was to move the second client therapy requirement, whatever this thing is called. So we have six. Says we need 6 therapy points, so this goes up by 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and since it lands on that section that has 1 victory point, or whatever you call this, victory point. So we're gonna go ahead and move my victory point by 1. Yeah, it says every time, I think at the beginning when you set up how many therapy points needed for the patient, you get wherever that you land or pass. And then on the way back, you also get points whenever you pass or land on a victory point section, I believe. Let me see here. If there's a victory point icon in the space where you place your therapy marker, immediately score the number of points shown. And then when you're treating patient, you also get points if it does the same thing. Let me check here. If the marker reaches or passes 1 or more spaces showing victory points, immediately score those points. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's done. So now we're gonna go to the id, and let me refer to the guide here for id, because it's the second time that we're using id. So first thing the id is going to do is place an idea, and so let's do that. If possible, the id places 2 ideas onto a vacant space within the target. Where is the part when he recalls ideas? Like, do I have, if we know that the id doesn't have enough ideas to place down, do we just immediately recall without drawing the meeting table card? That's what I'm trying to determine here. Reveal the top meeting card and place it up in this card pile. If possible, the id places 2 ideas in a vacant space. If the id places ideas from its supply is available, if it has fewer than 2 ideas, the id places a bright idea for each missing idea. Right? If the id places ideas from its idea from its supply if available. If it has fewer than 2 ideas, the id places a bright idea for each missing idea. If it has fewer than 2, the id will recall ideas instead. So you do just draw the card, because then you determine whether the id has enough at that point. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the meeting card here, and looks like now the id wants this one up here, and he does have but he doesn't activate anything, right? Yeah, it's just a matter of him taking up space. So he's gonna place that here, and the bright idea here, And then it says, is does not trigger the effects of the meeting table. Okay, just making sure. So it's just taking up spot, and then advance the ink pot. In this case, the ink pot is only being advanced one space. So, and here's the weird thing about the id. If it just advances one space and it happens to land on this middle space, then he gets two more movement of the ink pot, I believe. Yeah, leftmost ink pot space. Whenever its ink pot ends its movement on the leftmost space filled with the ink pot space overlay token. Yeah, because for the player it's something else. Yeah, okay. The id immediately moves its ink pot the number of spaces equal to its movement value again. So in this case, 1. For example, if the ink pot moves 2 spaces and lands on the overlay token, it moves 2 more spaces. The id's ink pot does not trigger the reputation track when it temporarily stops on the overlay token. So whenever it does that, it actually skips the reputation, moving up the reputation. Because if not, then he would move the reputation up, right? Let's see. Trigger the reputation track, and then triggering the track versus, there's also this whole thing about triggering versus something else. Let's see. I just wish they do the extra clarification, because then does the id normally triggers the reputation? You know, I mean, I'm making the assumption that it does, unless it does the stop thing. Because it's getting boosted. I think that's just a way to not move the game too fast. Probably. Let's see. There's a difference between gaining and triggering. Triggering. Score the victory points and gain coffee if any shown in the zone above your reputation marker. So that's triggering. So he doesn't trigger when he gets boosted. Normally, I guess he triggers. I mean, that's the only thing I can conclude from that, you know, because it says the id's ink pot does not trigger the reputation track when it temporarily stops on the overlay token. So if it doesn't temporarily stop on the overlay token, then it would trigger that. Okay, so he moves 1, right? And then because he stops here, he gets another 1. And it doesn't trigger the overlay token. So now he's going to be over there, and then at the top. So the top space, if he lands there, the id triggers 1 unlock column on its player board. Column with no idea above it. Okay. If there are multiple unlocked columns, it triggers a column with the most notebook tiles flipped to their active side. If there is a tie, that it selects the rightmost tied column. From top to bottom, the id triggers the effect of each active notebook tile and unlock inside space in the column. But now he's just going to get that idea, though, right? 2 ideas in the meeting table, then it repeats its advancing 1 spot into the top space. Doing so, the id unlocks its final idea, adding it to the supply. Next, the id triggers 1 of its 3 unlocked columns. Oh. So after you get the supply, he still gets the benefit from the column. That's interesting. Okay, let's see. Therefore, it repeats its ink pot movement, advancing one more space into the top space. In doing so, it unlocks the final idea, adding it to the supply area. Next, it triggers one of its three unlock columns. Yeah, I mean, the example, they explain that, but in the instruction, it doesn't. Oh, I don't. Yeah, I think this example is misleading. No, because it actually says that the third. It also considers the third one as being unlocked at that point. So this is very confusing. Let me see. The id triggers an unlock column on its player board. Example, a column with no idea above it. And then it's like they need to explain first that the id needs to remove the idea and place it into his supply, idea supply, whatever here, you know? Inside space in the column. Yeah, this part is very confusing. Let's see. Into the top. So in doing so, it unlocks its final idea, adding it to the supply area. Next, it triggers one of its three unlock columns. So like he gets to unlock it, and then instead of waiting until the next turn, he also gets to activate it even if he just unlocks the column. Based on the example, that's what it's telling me. But the instruction itself is very vague. Okay, I'll read this one last time. It says the id triggers one unlock column on its player board column with no idea above it. So why is it saying that it unlocks it first? You know, instead of saying it removes an idea from the three columns. If there's none available, or if even if all three have an idea on top, once it is unlocked, he gets to trigger the unlock column or something like that. You know, because the instruction is doing the example is doing that. The instruction doesn't say anything about that, which is crazy. It's like sometimes I think people who write these rule book, I don't know. It's like they don't even double check. Like they write it once and so it sounds good. Okay, yeah, that's good enough. The id triggers one unlock column on its player board. If there are multiple unlock columns, yeah, it went straight to just talking about unlock columns. What does the id do to unlock the column is what you need to talk about here, really. It triggers the column with the most notebook tiles flipped. Okay, that part is fine. If there's a tie, it selects the rightmost tied column. Then from top to bottom, the id triggers the effect. And then the example, it says the id places two ideas on the meeting table top. In this example that they give you, the id already has two unlock columns. Okay, there's no ideas on top of the two columns. But it still has one idea on the last column in this example. And then it says the id lands here. And then it says the id unlocks its final idea, adding it to the supply. So it grabs that idea and places it here. So now that becomes unlocked. Next, it says the id triggers one of its three unlock columns. So just because of this example, then I'm going to assume that he gets to unlock and trigger even if it was locked before. I mean, that's the only thing I can conclude from that. Like I said, the instruction is very vague, but the example seems obvious. It's just not matching the instruction. So I'm going to grab this and unlock this column, and then he gets to activate this column. But oh, and then he gets to there are two tiles here that are activated. So he gets this effect and then this effect. And yes, in case you're wondering, the the laundry room is right outside of the game room. Anyway, so where were we? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take care of that. Okay, let's see what he gets to do here. And then what is that? Does he have? Does he do anything with that symbol? Oops, where is that? Trigger all the effects of the unlock column on the. That's all it says, is just triggering the effect of the unlock column. Okay, so the id removes the rightmost notebook tile from the top row of the meeting table display. It triggers the tile's banner effect, gains 1 coffee, and discards a tile from the game. Then it refills the display. Okay, let me see what it means by this. Removes the rightmost notebook tile. That one? From the meeting table. Okay. The rightmost, okay. Notebook tile from the top row of the meeting table display. It triggers the tile's banner effect. The banner effect is the one on the right, I believe. Let's see here. And then there's no glossary here on this rule book too. So when you're looking for something, you have to look through the whole manual. I remember reading this part, the banner effect, whatever. I just don't remember where it's at. Okay. Okay, banner effect is the effect that's on the right side of that tile. Okay, so in this case, let's see what that means. It's like the art brush, and I think that specifies the location. Yeah, this location here. But what does that actually mean? Let me see. Trying to understand these iconography. Something to do with that area, but what? Hi GT, how's it going? Yeah, this is a complex one. Trigger all the effect. Play a research card. Okay, no, that's not it. Purple district. It has something to do with that district, but what is it? Let me see. Trigger the reputation track. That's not it. So why is there a so trigger something for that district, but what is it? Oh, I think that, no, that's from recall. So that this has to be from something else. I think it's about if you have those icons, then you can do something with that district, probably. So let me just check here real quick. Trigger column. Okay. What does this mean? Location tag trigger effect. I think what this is. This type of effect allows you to trigger a particular tag's location effects as if your professor or Freud moved to a given space. Use the count tags option, counting one tag shown on the icon, plus any matching tags you have in play. As usual, you may use bright ideas to increase the number of location effects you trigger. Well, the id doesn't do that. I mean, he doesn't even have any more bright ideas. Yeah, so this is so that you can do location action without actually being at the location or without doing a movement. So, but he doesn't have anything right now. I mean, I don't have anything right now. I don't have any location tag. He doesn't have any location tag, so this is just wasted. It doesn't do anything. Okay. You know, where does that go? It triggers the task. Matter of fact, gains one coffee. So he gains one coffee. And remember that once he gets to 4 coffee, he gets a heart-shaped box. And discard the tile from the game. Then it refills the display. Okay, so this is getting discarded. We'll place it here. And then we're going to replace it. There we go. So why would it have like one side that's not... Oh, because it's over here. Okay, that's right. All right, that's fine. All good. Okay, what does he do next? Next, advances the ink. Oh, and then there's another trigger. That's right. The second trigger is moving Freud. So the way that works, let me see, for the id. I think there's a section that talks about that. I just saw it like earlier, like during the last session. I think we saw that. It's in the main manual rulebook. I just saw it. Okay, advanced Freud 1 to 3 location. There is a section that talks about this. Yeah, glossary actually would have helped, but I remember seeing it. Where is it at? God damn it. When you're looking for it, you can never find it. Because you can move Freud 1 to 3 spots, but I know there's like a there's a criteria involved in that, like how you choose which spot that he's gonna stop at. I think something to do with God damn it, where is it? It is insane how difficult it is to look for specific information. Okay, maybe it's in the reference. Okay, advanced Freud, 1 to 3 locations and trigger the n locations effects. Advanced, okay, but it says 1 to 3 locations, but how do we determine that? I remember reading this somewhere in this manual, how you determine where he actually goes, but I can't seem to find it anymore. Oh, here it is. It's actually right here. Because he has a tile that does it. When the id moves Freud's figure up to 3 spaces, choosing the location that will trigger the most effect, either by counting figures or tags. If there's a tie, then the id advances Freud to the first tied location clockwise. After moving Freud, the id triggers the location effects, resulting in id gaining 1 coffee per triggered effect. Okay, but he doesn't have anything to trigger those effects though, right? So he moves 1 to 3, 1 to 3. He doesn't have anything too right now when it comes to location tags. He has nothing. So I guess it doesn't matter. And since you don't have any of the professors here, so it doesn't matter where he goes. Because it's only one activation, because it's just Freud by himself. But he doesn't have any location tags. Does he? No, he doesn't. I haven't gotten a location tag. He doesn't have a location tag, so I think we are cool. Yeah, so I'm just going to move him here then, because it doesn't matter. 1 coffee per triggered effect. So, but he needs to have the location tags and he doesn't. So he doesn't even get coffee from this. Okay. Sounds good. All right, what's next? Like, it seems like his progress is pretty slow, but this is because it's easy difficulty, maybe. Okay, so we took care of those two effects. If the id has fewer than 2 ideas available, at this point, so after that, hold on, advance place ideas, advance ink spot, he gets to also, when the id states ideas, it performs 2 following steps. Okay. Where's the what is that? Ink spot. What does that icon even mean? What turn summary? Like, sometimes they give you all these funky icons and they don't explain what it means. I know, like, the little targeting icon there means that you use this to determine stuff. But what are we trying to determine? It says something to do with the heart-shaped box, but okay, on its turn, the id will either state ideas if it has at least two ideas available, or, so it says or recall. Then at the end of its turn, it uses the heart-shaped boxes to produce therapy points. Okay, so it does one or the other, though. So right now, it doesn't do both. It's one or the other. Okay. And then use the heart-shaped boxes. Okay. But he doesn't have any yet. See, I mean, seems like he's progressing kind of slow because he doesn't even have anything yet. And what does he do with Leighton and what was the other dream? Leighton and whatever it's called. Manifest. And as in setup, when the id selects a manifest dream, it takes the card with the most therapy points. So we still do the manifest and latent dream, but he doesn't use the manifest and latent dreams though, right? How does that work with him when he is treating patients? At the end of every turn, the id uses its heart-shaped boxes to produce therapy points and apply them to its clients. Whenever a client of the ids reaches catharsis, place the topmost overlay tile from the corresponding column onto the client card. If it's a case study, okay. Yeah, it seems like it's gonna be slow for him. Well, it's still early. This is just round 2, so he's not doing anything this round. He doesn't have any therapy points, so I guess he doesn't get this. He doesn't do anything with latent and manifest dreams because he doesn't have insights. So he's just the only thing he does is just accumulate coffee, and yeah, seems like he's slow though, but like I said, maybe because it's easy difficulty, because maybe you get more a little bit more of a challenge. Yeah, because the hard one of the factors I think for the hard difficulty is they lessen the number of coffee that it needs to get a heart-shaped box. What does that mean? Something plus a trigger. Yeah, some of these icons are just pretty freaking confusing. Okay, I hope I'm doing this right, but like I said, I'm still working on this game. Okay, so he he is not doing anything beneficial this round, but it's still round 2, so maybe it gets worse as we continue. So let me make sure that I've done everything that I needed to do with id, and then we can move on. Okay. Oh, they have the explanation here, which is cool. Okay, the id gains 1 coffee instead of transferring or elevating insight, generating minor insight, triggering location effect, or failing to play a research card. Okay, 2 coffee for generating medium, insight or triggering a standard notebook tile. Gain 1 heart-shaped box instead of generating a major insight or gaining a notebook tile. Whenever the id has 4 coffees, it converts them into a heart-shaped box. If it fails to publish a treatise, it draws and plays a research card. Okay. Yeah, a lot of these are very condition specific, so it's hard to test it without us actually doing it. It's hard to sometimes understand it until you're actually doing it. As you play the game. Yeah, he still doesn't have heart-shaped box. Okay. Does he start with a heart-shaped box? Like a certain value? I don't think so. No, he doesn't. Okay. Well, let's just move on. Okay, cool. Alright, so now it is my turn. So, let's see what we can do here. I need to get more insights, actually, so that's for damn sure. I have 2 ideas and 1 bright idea. We probably want this. And we want to do it twice. And then the thing is, I think it says you may, right? Once you do that, you trigger that, you may place those in your inside dial. Part, where is the table, meeting table? Meeting table action. Oh, generating those insights, actually, it doesn't say you may generate these insights. Where's the section where it says you may do this and you may do that instead of saying? I think that's just from the player board. If it's like here, I think you have to do the action. So only like the player board, when it says generate an insight, that you may do that. But in the suppressing the insight to generate a median insight. In part, allowing them to trigger the bottom row in any order. First, they generate a minor passion insight from their player board. Then they trigger the rightmost tile. Yada yada. You may trigger row or column effects in any order you choose, one after another. However, you must fully resolve each effect before triggering the next. Okay. You may perform each effect once. So, see, I mean, that's the whole you may. It's just such a confusing way to instruct someone, you know, because when you say you may, that means that you may or you may not. So, like I said, I mean, the way that I look at that, because it's like beneficial effects, that might not, they're mainly beneficial effects, but sometimes doing them will not benefit you. Maybe that's why they said you may, because they didn't say you may when it comes to resolving the stuff here. So on the meeting table, like I said, it's just sometimes the language that they use. I think they need to be more clear. You know, instead of you may, just say choose whether or not to take this action. I think that would have been more clear. When you say you may, it's like you're being wishy-washy. I mean, I know sometimes you have to just read it like at face value, like these instructions in these board games. You're supposed to just take it at face value, you know, but sometimes you just need to be a little bit more clear with your instruction. Stop using may, you know. Give us the real deal. Just say you have the option to, instead of saying you may, you know. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trigger this twice. So that way we will get 3 of those, because we're going to need... we can use 2 coffee actually to elevate or move insights around. Let me just think about this. What is going to be most helpful to us? We definitely need insight, that's for sure. We definitely need more insight. Because I only have 1 right now in passion. I have minor passion. And the only thing that's going to help... Oh, that can help with this client here. And then what is it that I can use to pay? Oh, and then... Oh, yeah, that's fine. So let me go ahead and trigger that twice. So I'm going to use 1 idea... and then and 1 bright idea. And the reason why I'm doing this is so that I get the bright idea back. And then we only have 1 passion, 1 idea there. So I have another one to play with next round if I have to, or 2 actually, because I have the bright idea as well. So we're gonna trigger this twice. Okay, so I'm gonna get 1 each. Oh, I'm using all of them, huh? And then 2. Yeah, I don't have any more free ones in the middle. Okay. But now I can use 3 to buy one. I can use 3 to buy one heart-shaped box, which I'm going to need for this client actually, because when I resolve this latent dream, I only get 2 therapy points. So I'm going to need actually one more to cure him. So I should just go ahead and pay for it now. Let me think though. So I need one median for freedom. Oh, that's all I need. I just need one median for freedom here. So I can use coffee for that. So I can actually use 2 coffee to elevate my freedom insight. So let me go ahead and do that, because in the coffee action you can do at any time. Oh, but I can't I can't treat the client this round though, because I actually went to the meeting table. So, but I can definitely buy the I also want to buy the therapy point, the heart-shaped box. So let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and use 2 coffees to elevate one freedom to minor freedom to medium freedom insight, and then I'm going to so I just need 1 there, and I need 2 there. Okay, and then I'm going to use 1, 2, 3. 3 median minor freedom, passion, and growth insights to buy one heart-shaped box. Okay, and then now I get to move my ink pots. So I'm moving 3 spots. So 1, 2, and then once we get here, I think we get to trigger the effect, the reputation. Oh, cool. So it's actually 1 point plus 2 coffee. That's nice. Let me just make sure that I'm doing this right. So we regain our coffee token, so that's good. But I just want to make sure that I'm doing this right. Let's see here. Action table. Where's the ink pots? Where's the section that talks about ink pots? I know it's right here. Okay. Okay, advancing the ink pots. And then I can also modify using, but I don't have that right now. Okay, move the ink pot on your player board by following the steps. Determine the ink pot movement value. Move the ink pot clockwise along its track exactly as many spaces as your movement value. So I'm going to actually end up here, because we have 3, right? I'm over here. So it's 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna end up there. But where's the part that talks about completing the lap? Okay, here it is. The teal player moves the ink pot to the leftmost space, triggering the reputation track. They score 1 victory point, gain 2 coffee. Even if do we have to stop there? Or can we just go past it? I know there's a section that talks about this. I just don't remember where it's at. Is it only if you stop there? That's crazy. Unlocking ideas in columns. When you move past this icon, remove the leftmost idea from the top of your playboard and place it into your idea supply. Removing idea also unlocks column it came from. Okay. Is that what that means even with the freaking id? So it was because it was moving this way that it also removes a column for id? Is that the part that I kind of miss? Yeah, that was it. Yeah, so that's the same thing with id. Okay, so that it makes sense now. Okay. So the only way you can, this part is amazing though. So the only way you can trigger that is if you land here. And you can force the ink pot to stop there if you have a bright idea. But I spent that bright idea on the meeting table, so that was probably a mistake. Because I guess if you play more of this game, you will have that foresight. But because you know that you're moving 3 spaces. And then I would have used my idea instead of my bright idea, so I can reduce that by 1. So I would stop here, and I would gain victory point plus more coffee. So that would have been nice. But yeah, you learn as you go. So only if you land there you get the stuff. It's not like a lap. You don't get it for just completing the lap. The only thing that you get definitely for completing the lap is the idea. Now when do I get to place more tiles though here? Because I only have 1 at the beginning, right? Gaining notebook tiles is page 15. Oh, you have to be at the meeting table for that. Okay. Oh, I see. You need to get those over here. So that's probably should have been a priority so that you get more effects. Okay, well. I see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like the manual is not very good at like giving you even like hint of strategy. I guess they just want you to learn as you go. But anyway, okay, I'm here now, so I get to unlock this. But that also means that I get to trigger this because, right, because of the column. Choose an unlock column. You may trigger every notebook. Yeah. So here, actually, I do get to trigger this here. And this means I can turn a minor freedom into medium. Is that what that is? So I shouldn't have used my coffee because I would have gotten that effect. That's insane. Okay, well. That's what that means, right? Where are my reference cards? Jeez Louise. Okay, so this means that I can change a minor freedom into anything, into a minor something else, or median something else. Okay. So if I have a minor freedom, I can actually change that into a median of my choice. Okay, well, we don't have any, so it's not gonna do anything for us. Okay, that's fine. Next turn we should be able to fix this guy up. So is that it for stating ideas? Activate the ink pot. Yes. Okay. All right. Now back to id. Okay, I hit the 1 hour mark, so let me just reset the recording.